Hi there, and welcome to today's class. For this class, we have a concept of division of polynomial. In our previous classes, we have dealt with what's it called there? We have dealt with the introduction to polynomial. We have also looked at addition of polynomial, subtraction of polynomial, and also multiplication of polynomial. Now we are under what there? Division of polynomial. If you are not yet understand the introduction, I'll drop a link to this video description. So check this video description. You see a link to the introduction to um, polynomial, right? So let's dive into division of polynomial. This part here is a very hard concept for many students. So students find this part here difficult. So I'll try my possible best to break down the idea behind division of polynomial. First things first, we're gonna, for this concept here, look at two cases there. We look at case one and then what there, and the case two. So for case one, we look at how to divide a monomial by a monomial. All right, case one. So for this topic here, we look at two cases there. Case one is a monomial by a monomial. By monomial, what do I mean? One term, right? A monomial means one. Binomial means two. Trinomial means three, right? And polynomial it is three. So we said a monomial is just a single term. For instance, if I have 3x squared y. This is a monomial. Why? They are all together. They are one, right? But this is a monomial. For binomial, if I have 3x squared y plus 5x, this is a what? A binomial. They are two. So you should know all this concept before now. All right. So we said for this concept here, we look at two cases there. Please, case one, please. Case one under this, please. Case one, we look at dividing monomial by monomial. Um, division of monomial by monomial. All right. Look at how to divide a monomial by a monomial. So I'll just to explain this case one better, I have to show myself, give you definition. Let's solve problems and see how it works, please. Now, what you should expect here is simply a monomial dividing another monomial. Please. Example here, please. To explain this concept properly. Example. It says divide number 1 28y cubed over 7y. Number 2, it says 24x to the power of 7, y to the power of 5, all over 8x cubed y squared. Number 3, this gives you negative 5x to the power of 4 plus 25x cubed minus 15x squared all over 5x squared. All right. So let's work on this, please. Let's solve this problem one after the other. All right. First things first. First things first. All right. First things first. When it comes to solving problem of this nature, what do? The time is quite simple. This is a monomial by perhaps this one here is a monomial by a monomial, monomial by a monomial. This one here too is still a monomial by monomial, but we have to take it to the form of monomial by monomial. All right, first is first. Let's solve this with this. Solution to this question, please. Solution. So your number one that says 28y cubed over 7y. Before I start solving division of polynomial, please mind you, when it comes to division of polynomial, it follows the idea of division law of indices. That is, if I have, let's say I have a to the power of 5 divided by a to the power of 3. This here gives you a to the power of what? 5 minus 3. That gives you a to the power of what there? 2 as my answer. So this division law still applies when it comes to what there? Division of polynomial. Similarly, multiplication of polynomial too, it applies the same law of what? Multiplication law of indices applies to multiplication of polynomial. Similarly, in this case, division of polynomial too align with what the division law of indices. So here's the task here. You're having 28 over 7. Your task is to separate number from variable. This is equal to numbers are 28 over 7, right? Then I have dot. This is what? Y cubed divided by what there? Y. All right. If I multiply them, 28 times 3 cubed. That, sorry, 28 times y cubed, that gives 28 y cubed. 7 times y, that gives 7y. So it's still the same third place. At this junction here, this y will cancel one of this one here. This is 3y. So if one cancel one here, that gives you what there? Y squared left. Right? Next up here, if I divide 7 here by 28 there, that should be about 4. That's 4, right? What am I left with? I'm left with 4 times y squared. That gives you what there? 4y squared. That's basically all, right? That's basically how you solve this particular question. Or perhaps if you want to, you can see, you can apply law of indices that says this y cube, I'm having y cube, observe, y cube divided by what? Y. This one gives you y cube minus 1 because there's a power here 1. So the division law gives you minus, you subtract. That gives you what the y squared. The y squared is this y squared here, right? As you can see, that I have infiltrated the idea of division law of indices into this concept. All right, so bear in mind this. All right, let's proceed. Number 2. So this one here, I have 24x to the power 7 y to the power of what? 5 all over 8x cubed y squared. We said when I solved this one, I said separate them. Separate number with number, letter with letter, and letter must rhyme with each other. In this case here, separating, I will have numbers to number 24 over 8 separately times x to the power of 7 over x to the power of what? 3 times y to the power of 5 over what there? Y to the power of what? 2. Alright. We know fully well that 24 divided by 8 there, that gives you 3. 8 here 1, 8 here, this gives you 3, right? That gives you 3. Now, x cube will cancel x to the power 7. How many is left here? How many is left here? That's 4. So I'll have x to the power of 4 left here. If y square cancel y to the power 5, I'll have what the y to the power of 3 left. So in this case here, my answer gives you 3x to the power 4 y cubed. This is how you define, this is how you divide a monomial by monomial. So monomial by monomial. So this is how you solve this problem here. Let's number 3 and move on to case 2. For number 3 there, negative 5x to the power of 4 plus 25 x cubed minus 15 x squared, right, all over 5x squared. All right, we have this one here. So first things first, to divide this one here is not as easy as this concept we use here, but the task is this. To simplify this question in a paper form, I will attach this denominator to each of the variable at denominator. So it means I'll be having what there? Minus 5x to the power 4 all over 5 x squared. So bring out this one, attach this to it, then plus, bring out this 25x cubed. So attach this one to it, 5x squared. Next up, minus, bring out this 15x squared all over this denominator comes down. That gives you 5x squared. What do you observe I'm doing? What do you observe? This is more like I'm reversing back. If I take LCM here, I'll go back to this. If I take the LCM of this fraction, I will get back to where? Get back to this. So this is like the reverse of this. Alright. At this junction here, it acts simple. 5 here 1, 5 here 1. X squared cancels power 4. I'll have x squared here left. So having what? Negative x squared left. That gives you negative x squared left. 5 here 1, 5 here 5. Sorry, yes, 5. Right? X squared cancel x cubed. I'll have x left. So that's plus 5x. Plus 5x left here. Minus, minus, minus. Alright. 5 in 15. That's 3. That gives you 3. X squared cancel x squared. That's 1. So of course, my final answer here gives you negative x squared plus 5x minus 3. This is like quadratic equation. This is like the form it comes. I didn't say solve this using quadratic equation. No, I'm just saying that this is like the pattern of quadratic equation. But yet this is my answer to this particular question. So that is solve problem under case 1 of division of polynomial. Let's look at case 2. What we we'll be looking at how to divide a polynomial by a polynomial. That's where the work comes in. Take this off. Alright. Let's do case 2 of polynomial. Alright, let's start with this case. Now let's start with the work here. Alright. So what we just dealt with earlier is called division of monomial by monomial. Now let's dive into the real aspect we are trying to focus on now. So when it comes to dividing a polynomial, I'll give you some kind of definition there. So with definition, and I'll give you steps. So when it comes to dividing polynomial, there are like 4 steps, 4 distinct steps in dividing it. So I'll give you each step one after the other. After that, then we'll look at how to apply these steps in solving several problems, right? So first things first, notes please, notes, very important please, notes. The same technique outlined for division by a monomial does not work for polynomial with 2 or more terms in the denominator. In this section, we will outline a process called polynomial long division for real numbers. Alright, so what I just said now, I'll show what I said in the screen. So first things first, the idea is this. We said when it comes to dividing a polynomial, there are 4 steps there. So we look at the 4 steps one after the other, and basically we call this long division. It's called polynomial long division, right? That was basically called, also called polynomial long division. Steps. Look at the steps involved, please. Look at the steps involved in solving a polynomial. Number 1, please. The first step, number 1. The first step, number 1. Divide the leading term. It says divide the leading term of the dividend by the leading term of the divisor of the perhaps divisor 1, 2. Alright, first step done. Step 2, multiply the first term All right, first term of the quotient by the divisor by the divisor. Remembering to distribute all right, to distribute and line up the terms. The terms with the dividend. All right, step 2 done. Step 3. All right, step 3. Subtract the resulting quantity. Subtract the resulting quantity. Subtract resulting quantity from the dividend. From all right. Step 3 done. Step 4. Step 4. Step 4. Bring down the remaining. Bring down. All right. Bring down the remaining terms. And repeat the process from step 1. All right. So these are like the steps involved when it comes to dividing the polynomial. Your very first step there is to divide the leading term of the dividend, right, by the leading term of the what the divisor. Okay, number 2, multiply the first term of the quotient by the term by the divisor, remembering to distribute and line up the terms with dividend. It says number 3 says subtract the resulting quantity of the dividends, and lastly I have bring down the remaining terms and repeat the process from step 1. First things first, if you observe these steps, there are some keyword encode here, something like divisor, dividend, quotient. What do these things means? Let me explain this case. If I have a division concept, your long form division stuff, let's suppose that I put a number here, 3x squared plus 4y, whatever there, and I put let's say 2x squared, for instance. Whatever is inside this place here, whatever is inside here is called the dividend, right? This one here is called anyone outside is called divisor, right? Divisor, right? Whatever is here, and whatever is here is called what the quotient, please. Don't forget, please. So whatever is inside this stuff here is called the dividend. Whatever is here is called what the divisor. Whatever is up here is called what the quotient. That is what we mean. So quotient is more like the answer, right? And dividend is more like what you are dividing with the other, as you can see. So we'll take an example to explain this concept much more better. All right, take this off. Let's take some few problems. So don't forget the step, please. Step 1 is to divide the leading term of the dividend, right, by the leading term of the divisor. So first things first, example on this page. Number one example. Number one example. Number one example. Call me. Example says, number one says, you should divide x cubed plus 3x squared minus 8x minus 4 divided by x minus 2. In this case here, we're going to be using what? Applying the idea of what? Polynomial long form division, right? Which involve these steps. So first things first, I'm going to draw out my division line this way. So we said this one here, whatever is up here, will always be inside this top here. So that gives you x cubed plus 3x squared minus 8x minus 4. This one here signifies what the dividend, right? Why what is here will come outside here. X minus 2. These are the divisor term. So the quotient to be here. Don't forget, please. Now we want to divide this. We want to say divide this with this. So what do you do? How do you divide this? It's easy. First things first, we said divide the leading term of the dividend. So what's leading term? Leading term is the first thing you see. Leading. Something is leading. Is ahead. So the leading term. This is dividend here. But leading term is this. So divide the leading term, which is what? X cubed by what? By the leading term of what? Divisor. Divisor is having x minus 2. So this x is the first term, the leading term of divisor, x. So divide it by what? By x. We said divide leading term by leading term of what? Divide leading term of the divisor by the leading term of what? The leading term of the dividends by divisor. So I'm having these two things. So x here 1, x here is 2 here. So it means if I divide this with this first one here, I have x squared as the answer here. Divide the leading term of dividends by the leading term of divisor. That gives me x squared. Now use x squared. Step 2. Multiply the first term, which is this one here, of the quotient, which is this one here, by the divisor, by this divisor here, right? So it means that I'll have x squared times x. That gives you x cubed. Observe please, oh, x squared times the first term here is x. That gives x cubed. This is a minus sign, so I have minus x squared times 2. That gives you 2x squared. All right. All right. Your next step is to subtract the resulting quantity from the dividends. So after multiplying, I have this. This is my resulting quantity. So I'm going to subtract this resulting quantity from this. So it means that I'm going to apply what the subtraction here. So if I subtract this one here, what do I get? X cubed minus x cubed, that's 0, it's off. Plus 3x squared minus minus is plus. So minus minus gives you plus. So it means that we're having what there? Plus 3x squared plus 2x squared. That gives you what there? 5x squared. Please observe. Negative negative gives you positive. So I'm having positive 3x squared with positive 2x squared. That gives you what there? Positive 5x squared. We said after that, we said bring down the remaining terms. So this 8, bring it down, and this 4, bring it down. That gives you minus minus 8x minus 4. All right, I have this left. So this now becomes another dividend. We said follow, or perhaps we said bring down the remaining terms, which I've brought down, and repeat the process from the step 1. So we'll go again. Pick out the leading term here, which is what? 5x squared divided by what? Leading term of the pick out the leading term of the dividend, which is 5x squared now, by divided by leading term of the divisor, which is x. This cancel this there, that gives you 5x. So I'll come here, I'll post positive 5x because 5x is positive 5x. Now, after that, we said step 2, multiply the resulting quantity by the divisor. That we said, multiply the first term of the quotient, which is now this one is second term. Now this is the second term. Multiply by the quotient, because this one here, I'm multiply by this to get this. So it means this one now multiply this to have something here. So this 5x times x, that gives you 5x squared. Next up, minus, I have minus 5x times 2, that gives you 10x. All right, we said you subtract again. Apply subtraction because I subtracted. Subtract again. So if I subtract this, what do I get? If I subtract from here, what do I get? This one here, 5x squared minus 5x squared, that's 0. That's all. Now observe, minus 8x, right? Minus alone gives you positive, right? Positive value. That gives you positive. So minus 8x plus 10x, that's positive 2x. That gives you 2x, right? 2x, yes. I'm only left with what? Negative 4. So we said that after subtracting the resulting quantity from the dividend, they bring down the remaining term, which is negative 4. Bring it down, negative 4. All right, we go again, right? So I have this one here. So I have this stuff here. All right. So this answer here, this answer here should be under this place here, right? So we are here. Next step again. I'll pick out this is under what? Dividend. So this is the first dividend, the second dividend, right? The third one now. So go with third one. So I pick out the leading term of this one, that's 2x, divided by leading term of the divisor, that's x. So divide this with 2. So it means I'm having positive 2. So put plus 2 here, plus 2. Multiply this 2 by this divisor. So 2 times x, that gives you 2x, right? All right, yes. Plus 2 times x, that is plus 2x. So minus, what I mean minus 2 times 2 gives you 4. What do you observe? It says subtract them, subtract it. So this one gives you 0. Of course, this is 0. So it means that if I divide this with this, my answer becomes x squared plus 5x plus 2. So the answer to this question is x squared plus 5x plus 2. So my answer becomes x squared plus 5x plus 2. All right, this is how you divide polynomial. As simple as this place. The focus is on the leading terms. This and this gives you this one here. So divide this by this, put your answer up here. Multiply this value up here by the divisor. That gives you this. Subtract it, you have this one left. After subtracting, bring down the remaining one down. You go again. This one now becomes another what? Dividend, right? So pick out the leading term, which is this one here, divided by the leading term of this one. That gives you 5x. Now 5x times everything here gives you this 2. Subtract them, you have this one. We have only 2x left. But negative 4, bring it down. I have negative 4. Now divide the leading term here again. This one, leading term by x again. That gives you 2. 2 times everything here gives you what is here. And then subtract, you have this place. So that you divide a polynomial using long form division method. All right. Example 2. To explain this better, example 2. All right. Example 2. It says divide by 2. Divide 6x squared minus 5x plus 3 all over 2x minus 1. All right. let's work with this place. First things first, draw out your long division line. I have this one here. This, we said numerator is inside, always inside. That gives you 6x squared minus 5x plus 3. So this one, denominator is always outside here. That gives you 2x minus 1. Alright. When it comes to dividing, we said divide the leading term of the dividend by the leading term of what? Divisor. So that gives you 6x squared divided by what there? 2x. 2 here 1, 2 here 3. X here 1, x here is x left. If I divide these two, I have 3x left. So I'm having what? Put the 3x here, right? 3x left. Because I divided this with this. So let it be, the answer should be under that 6, under this pattern. Observe, when I divided this with this, my answer was falling under this. Then when I use next term, when I divided this, I made it, to be aligned. So I'm having this place, whichever way you want it to be, but the answer should be up here. Divide this leading term by the dividend dividend with the leading term of divisor. You have this one here. So that's the first step. Second step, multiply this resulting quantity of the quotient with the divisor. So 3x times 2x, that gives you 6x squared minus 3x times 1 gives you 3x. When you're done multiplying, we said subtract the resulting quantity from the dividend. So this is quantity here. I'll subtract this dividend from this quantity. So what do I get? That gives you 6x squared minus 6x squared. That gives 0. Now observe this please. Minus 5x minus 3x. So minus alone is positive. In that case, minus 5x plus 3x, that gives you minus 2x. That's all. So minus 2x. After I'm done with this, we said drop down the remaining value here. Said bring down the remaining term. So it's plus 3 left here. Plus 3. Bring it down. Alright, I have this. What's next step here? Next step again. This gives you another dividend. So divide the leading term here again. Leading term here is minus 2x. Divided by what? Leading term of divisor. That's 2x. 2x. This divide this, I have minus 1 left. So my answer gives you minus 1 here. So multiply minus 1 by everything here. So that's what you have left here. So minus 1 times 2x, that gives you minus 2x. Right? Minus 1 times minus 1, that gives you a positive 1. Right? Alright. Next task. Alright. I'm having this one here. So we say subtract it again. You subtract them. So observe this. Minus gives you plus, Abby. So minus 2x plus 2x, that's 0. So minus plus gives you minus. So plus 3 minus 1 gives you 2. Observe, minus 2x minus 2x. So minus gives you positive. That this, so it means here is positive 2x. So minus 2x plus 2x, that's 0. Next up, minus plus is minus. So it means I'm having minus 1 here. Because minus times plus is minus. So this is minus 1. So plus 3 minus 1 gives you 2. In this case, I'm not having a like of this, like when I did the last part here, it was 0 0. So that's why I pick my answer to be this. But in this case here, my answer is not 0. I still have a remainder here. Right? I still have a remainder here. So this is how you present your answer. Whenever you still have a remainder here, because this can't be divided, you can't divide this again. Right, this is the list of stuff here. So this is how you present your answer, please. In case like this, your answer becomes the answer, your quotient first. That's 3x minus 1, right? Your quotient first, then plus this remainder, which is 2, all over your divisor. That's 2x minus 1. So in a case whereby after dividing you didn't have 0 as your answer, so how do you present your answer? You pick out the quotient first, then plus the remainder all over what the divisor. That's all. This is how you present your answer in a case whereby you don't have 0. as the last solving. In this case, my answer was 0 at the last part here. That's why I add this only as my answer. In this case, I have a remainder 2. So I can't just put this as my answer. No. Sorry, I can't just put this as my answer. No. So pick out this answer first, then plus your remainder all over what your divisor. This is a solved problem of this nature, right? So you can see you have a rough sheet where you'll be doing calculation. Let's do one more example. One more example under this concept. All right. I'm having 3x to the power of 4 minus 2s cubed plus 6x squared plus 23x minus 7 divided by x squared minus 2x plus 5. All right. I'm having this. Let's divide this concept. So your very first task, you draw a long division line this way. Take it down here a bit. So we said numerator is always inside. That gives you 3x to the power 4 minus 2x cubed plus 6x squared plus 23x minus 7. So let me extend this line. So I have this way. All right, this is my dividend. So divisor, your denominator, that gives you x squared minus 2x plus 5. So please don't look scared. You see the same concept applies. So my rough sketch, my rough calculation should be here. All right, working stuff here. First is first. Focus on the leading term and leading term. That's all. Nothing much. Divide this first leading term, 3x to the power 4, by the first leading term here too. That's x squared. So this divided by this. Sorry, that gives you 3x squared left. Because x squared divided by x power 4. I'll have x squared left. Use x squared times 3. That gives 3x squared. This means I'll have what the 3x squared here first. This answer, this quotient, multiplied by everything here. So it means that I have 3x squared times x cubed. 3x squared times x squared, that gives you what the 3x to the power 4 minus 3x squared times 2x, that gives you what the 6x cubed plus 3x squared times 5, that gives you what the 15x squared. All right, I have this one here. So take your line this way. We said when you multiply it this way to have this answer, we said you subtract this value minus this value. They are the same thing. That gives you 0, because this is plus 3x to the power 4 minus 3x to the power 4. That's 0. Now this case here, minus minus gives you positive, abi? So it means here is positive. So 2x cubed minus 2x cubed plus 6x cubed, that gives you 4x cubed, right? This is plus times minus times plus gives you minus. So here it means this is minus 15x squared. Why? Because this sign will change. Why is it changing? This minus times plus, that gives you minus. So plus 6x squared minus 15x, that gives you minus 9x squared, right? Yes, 9x squared. All right. Yeah. So when I'm done subtracting this way, the next task is to bring down the remaining value. This one, so bring them down. That's plus 23x minus what? 7. Bring them down. I have it this way. All right. Next step again. Pick out the leading term here, 4x cubed. That gives you 4x cubed divided by the leading term of this one here, x squared again. That gives you x squared. This cancel this. I have one x left. That gives you 4x left. That's positive 4x left. Positive 4x is left. So this 4x times x squared, that gives you 4x cubed. 4x, this is minus, right? Minus 4x times 2x, that gives you 8x squared, right? Yeah, 8x squared. Then plus 4x times 5, that gives you 20x, right? 20x. So I'll take this down again. It says subtract them. So this minus this is 0 is off. Minus times minus gives you plus. So this is positive 8x squared. So minus 9x squared plus 8x squared, that gives you minus x squared. Yeah, because minus minus is plus. So this is plus 8x squared in disguise. So minus 9x squared plus 8x squared, that gives you negative x squared, right? So negative positive gives you negative. So plus 23x minus 20x, that gives you positive 3x, right? So we're done with this list. Then drop down this down. So drop this down. So minus what? 7. Drop it down. Same thing again. Pick out this leading term. This one here. Minus x squared divided by leading term here. X squared. X squared. This cancel this here. I have minus 1 left. So I'll put in here minus 1. So minus 1 here times x squared. That gives you minus x squared. Right? Next task. Minus 1 times minus 2x, that gives you positive 2x. Positive 2x minus 1 times plus 5, that gives you a negative 5. Alright, hold on. Alright, that is this. Alright, that is this. So we go again. Don't forget to say subtract. 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 What do we get? Minus minus gives you plus, right? So minus something plus that same thing is 0. So minus x squared plus x squared is 0. So minus plus is minus. So 3x minus 2x, that gives you x, right? X. Minus is positive, so that's last plus 5. So minus 7 plus 5, that gives you minus 2. Alright, minus 2. Minus 2. Minus 2. Alright. Next task. Can we still go again? If I divide this one here, observe, if I divide this one here, x by x squared, you can see I have 1 over x left. It's not making sense. So you stop it here. You don't want to have fraction, right? So that's like the concept here. So it means that we are done at this junction. So it means this is our dividend, divisor, quotient, and what the and remainder. How do you put your answer? You said pick out your quotient out first. Your answer, the answer becomes quotient out first. That gives you 3x squared plus 4x minus 1. Then plus the remainder first, x minus 2. X minus 2 all over the divisor. That's x squared minus 2x plus 5. Alright, that is solves this particular question. So this is my answer to this particular question. Alright, that is solve this problem. Alright, see you guys in the next class and welcome to Excellent Academy. Do well to join my VIP channel membership, right? So when you join the channel membership, the VIP, you see the link in the video description. So click on the link and join the VIP membership. You have access to talk to me one-on-one, and also you have access to some courses that I will make free online. So you can have access to those courses for free. if you join the channel, a VIP membership. And also, once you join again, I'm going to reply your comment as fast as I can. Whenever I see your name, when you leave a comment, your email will be showed. So if you have joined the VIP membership, a green icon will display from my own end. So I will know that okay, this guy is a part of my VIP membership. So I'll always reply you, give you your time. I'll make sure I leave what I'm doing to give you answer because you're part of the VIP membership. So I'm encouraging you to do well to join the VIP membership in the channel. So I'll leave a link to the VIP membership in the video description. So check it there. You see the word VIP membership. You see a link attached to it. Click on the link. And also, do it to subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment, share to your friends and classmates, and then see you guys in our next class. So next class, we'll look at the concept of sequence and series in our next video.